I'm Tom, and this is Adult Game Reviews. This week I review Monster College by Monster Eye Games. We're kicking off spooky season with the goofy and lighthearted AVN, where you find out that you are a werewolf of a very prestigious lineage. But he didn't find that out until he was a little bit on the older side. Think the kid that was 4 feet tall at the end of 9th grade, and when you see him after the summer, he's grown to 6 feet tall. That's you, basically.
You're just a late bloomer.
You are introduced to the wonderful world of the supernatural, where there are vampires, zombies, and mummies, and they're mostly attractive. So the first thing that struck me about Monster College is that it didn't take itself too seriously. From your mummy roommate to your amazing wolf form, let's just say the main character is gifted, which is even funnier when you're fully transformed. The renders are pretty good. I don't really think the characters stand out as far as quality. It's very similar to other Daz 3D games, but the variety in characters make up for it. I do think the humanoid characters look the best, but that's pretty subjective. The thing that really sets Monster College apart is the story. There's an overarching storyline where you have to find a MacGuffin, but each of the girls has a unique storyline, and they're really engaging. You have Anne, your normie girlfriend, to Rachel, the trend-setting vampire with the unique family. You have Dragomira, the millennium-old vampire and ex-werewolf hunter professor who is arguably the hottest in the game. To Olga, the very curvy ragdoll where I question what her creator was thinking when they made her. To Lily, the Gorgon with a hairline that looks like Peyton Manning's. We also can't forget Emily, the prudish specter, Sophia the witch, with probably the most interesting storyline, to Grace, the mermaid who isn't shy and likes to show off, to Susie, the shy, very well-endowed fawn, Nina the werewolf, who is tied for Dragomira as the hottest, and Maxine the zombie that no matter how much the main character talks about how hot she is, I can't stop thinking that, guys, she's dead.
No judgment.
At the moment, some storylines are much more engaging than others, but I'm guessing all the storylines will converge at some point, but only time will tell. There are decent sound effects, including the lewd scenes and music that, if you're familiar with AVNs, you probably heard before. And lastly, the game does a good job of making you feel like you're completely out of your element. Some of the characters help you understand the world, but I didn't get the sense, like other games, that you are at the center of the universe. Many others do take notice of you due to your family's reputation, but I don't get the sense that the world would fall apart without you in it, which is a good thing. Okay, so minor spoiler, but I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Monster College, but it did have problems. The first being the writing. You can tell the Monster Eye may have used Google Translate for some of the dialogue. Many of the characters use words that people just don't use in common conversations.
But Tom, this is a supernatural world. Of course the dialogue will feel outdated if you have ancient creatures.
Well, thank you, public opinion. This would be true if not every character had the similar voice and relatively the same way of speaking. I mean, it would be cool if you had the 1,000-year-old vampire speaking differently than the main character, but I could see that being a lot of extra work. So the dialogue can be atmosphere breaking, but it honestly didn't really bother me that much. Mostly because the game just doesn't take itself so seriously, which allowed me to not take that as seriously either. I mean, there's a conversation about why your mummy roommate disappoints his lovers because he doesn't have enough fluids in his body. I mean,
it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
There are also obvious choices where it doesn't matter what you do. For example, you're prompted who to ask for help, but whoever you choose ends up defaulting on the same choice. It's stuff like this that's disappointing. Adding in choices that don't matter for no reason seems kind of insulting to me, but maybe I'm just being overly sensitive. However, as a general mechanic, when you try to improve your abilities, you get to choose between different skills like stealth, agility, sense of smell, hearing, etc. These will open extra dialogue options that can change some dialogue, but it's not clear how much it will change the overall plot. This brings me to the biggest issue, that is, I was a little pissed when I got to the end of chapter 5. You know why? Because mostly I wanted more. I wanted to see what happens next. I wanted an option to make it up to my favorite love interest, Nina, because I was cheating on her constantly.
Oops. Sorry.
All in all, I really enjoyed my time with Monster College, but it wasn't perfect. The models could look fairly generic, the writing wasn't great, and the choices didn't matter as much as I wanted, and I still loved it. So this is a strong play for me. 5 chapters are released, so let's be clear that it's still in development, but I had fun, and I'm really looking forward to the next few chapters. If you want to wait for the game to finish, I totally get it, but if you're looking for a lighthearted game where it's just pure candy, then have fun. If you haven't seen my 6 Spooky Games compilation, you can please check that out right here. Thanks again. Until next time.